Hey folks, Rob Daniels here for the movie, TV, and video game soundtrack program Visions in Sound. I can be found every week on FM 98.5, or if you miss the show, which, hey, does happen, you can also find it on visionsinsound.ca. We've got a great show for you tonight. So we got the contestants going. Wait a minute. It's just me. No contestants. Why don't I just take this back to a regular review? Yeah, if you haven't guessed already, Visions in Sound this week, we're going to be talking about the 1987 film The Running Man, with music by Harold Faltermeyer. Yes, because of the Running Man film that's coming out, or that is out probably as we speak, I wanted to go back and take a look at the original movie. Now, this may sound a little controversial, but it's funny. When I watched the film just recently, I went, yeah, if they're going to remake this film, I don't mind them remaking this film. The original is, by the way, it's awesome, but it is dated. The technology is dated. And if you watch it very carefully, someone who has worked in television will go, yeah, this kind of doesn't work. Well, okay, rather it works, but it works on a level that was 1980s, not 2025 in any case. So yeah, the music here is by Harold Faltermeyer, and it is some pretty interesting stuff. Now, Harold Faltermeyer, back in the day, was huge. And back in 84, when he first scored Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F, I remember just being frickin' everywhere. Absolutely fricking everywhere. So it's not a surprise that he would be asked to do various movies, and The Running Man seems like a perfect fit for him. A lot of the music in there is kind of this 80s cheesy kind of corporate sounding music that comes off. And I mean, we'll just have a listen to the opening title. It's not corporate, but have a listen. So yeah, watching the film, I mean, the thing about it, for me anyway, watching it just, like I said, as I did just recently, it has a charm to it. There is definitely, it's funny. And again, this may be a controversial take, but it feels like a television movie in portions. In some places it feels huge and epic. And other places it feels like compacted and claustrophobic like a television movie. There are certain things about it. I mean, the game zone is it doesn't feel like a large location. It just feels like a bunch of rooms and that sort of thing. It feels a little bit, maybe, I don't know, it feels claustrophobic to me. It feels more claustrophobic than it should. If they're talking about this expansive game zone, you should see the expansive game zone, not just a couple of rooms, and a couple of things. Now, of course, it's you watch this, and of course, it has professional wrestling smeared all over it. I mean, you have Jesse Ventura, of course, but you also have people like Jim Brown, and you got other, like, okay, I have to admit, there is one thing that always kind of bothered me when I first saw the film, and that's, it's never mentioned anywhere else in the film, but the guy who plays Sub-Zero, they never refer to him as anything other than Sub-Zero, except when they introduce him.
Professor Sub-Zero!
And they introduce him as Professor Sub-Zero. The guy that actually plays Professor Sub-Zero is a guy by the name of Professor Toru Tanaka. There you go. It's probably his stage name because he actually went by another name that I don't have handy here. But in all of that, I think it's funny. I think it's funny that why would it be a selling point that he was a professor? Don't know, but it was funny. It's something that caught me. The film itself and the soundtrack itself, definitely, like I said, it oozes of 80s cheese in all of this.
Ben, I gotta hand it to you, pal. You got the whole network here in an uproar. Why, they're shipping bicarb to the Justice Department in crates. So that's why this little call is just between you and I. It's not going out on the air. Listen very carefully, Ben. How would you like a 3-year contract, guaranteed, a cadre credit line, and a beachfront condo? Sound impossible? Ben, is a standard deal for a network stalker. And I know real talent when I see it, Ben. And I just hate to see you get canceled tonight when you could go the distance. Say the word, Ben, and you can be the one doing the stalking. What do you think?
You cold-blooded bastard. I'll tell you what I think of it. I live to see you eat that contract. But I hope you leave enough room for my fist, because I'm going to ram it into your stomach and break your goddamn spine! Ah!
It's one of those scores that, for me, I first discovered it. It was, I think wasn't a blind buy, but it was one of those things that I like, when I used, I remember picking it up in college. And the reason why I remember picking it up in college is that one of the people who was in the car with me after I picked it up said, "Wow, I'm kind of interested in this soundtrack now." And the thing was, the funny part about it was, this was the kind of thing that was like, for me to find a soundtrack like that on CD out in the wild back then, back in the 90s, for me was a huge deal. Because I was kind of just getting into the whole idea of collecting, and I didn't have a huge collection, not the size I have now, but it was kind of fun, and it was neat to have have this CD in my hands and go, hey, this is pretty cool to have The Running Man, because no one else seemed to have it. And of course, it would show up, music would show up here and there throughout my life. But the thing that always amazed me was the perfect fit that Harold Faltermeyer's music had for this particular film. It was cheesy. It was just perfect for the actual fit for the film. So I'm going to take a moment and have a listen to some of the more. This is actually from the deluxe edition of the score from a more recent release on Varese Sarabande. So have a listen. there you go. It's a movie that has kind of aged well, but then there are certain things about it that kind of have aged poorly. But what I am going to do is I'm going to end off with something that is not on the soundtrack. But I had to seek it on my own, which was fine. It's one of those things. But it's the end title song. I am surprised because it is actually written by Harold Faltermeyer and John Parr. And it's funny because it's not on the soundtrack. I understand. There's probably like licensing issues or something like that. So I get it. I get it why it's not on there. I get it. So there's that. So have a listen. This is the John Parr song as we're going to end off this particular review with this.
This is no game. Standing in the dark, I swear I heard you calling my name. And I knew things had changed. No pain, no gain. Something in your eyes just told me that this nightmare would end. And I had found a friend. Shouted from the highest steeple, let it out to all the people. Hey! Play it on the loudest speaker, burning like the highest fever. You hit the right spot. No more lonely nights with a restless heart. Roll the dice, make a brand new start. When the world you knew got shattered, you and me were all that mattered. Just one way I'm gonna lose this restless heart, running away with you.
And there you go, folks. The 1987 film The Running Man with music by Harold Faltermeyer. With that in mind, folks, like, share, and subscribe. And by all means, of course, check things out every week on the show. Visions in Sound can be found 12 to 2 a.m. every Saturday morning on 98.5 CKWR. You can also try me on my website, visionsinsound.ca. I am on Blue Sky these days, and I can be found at visionsinsound.bsky.social. You can also find me on Good Pods, a downloadable app for your phone or other type devices. And you can also find me on many of the other podcatchers out there, including the likes of Apple Music. So, with all that in mind, folks, I realize that it is a crazy world out there, regardless of the fact that there is, right now, no game show called The Running Man. But if you are having problems, by all means, check out 911, call 911 for your immediate help. Dial or text 988 for the Suicide Crisis Helpline. You can also try 1-844-HERE-247 and HERE247.ca. They all offer ways of getting help if you or someone you know may be suffering from mental health issues. So with that in mind, folks, have yourself a great day. And by all means, get out there and listen to some wonderful, fantastic, and there are composers out there that are worthy of your time. So with that in mind, tune in next time. Who knows what's going to happen? You never know on Visions in Sound. Have yourself a great day. Bye for now.
This is television, that's all it is. It's nothing to do with people, it's to do with the ratings. For 50 years, we've told them what to eat, what to drink, what to wear. For Christ's sake, Ben, don't you understand? Americans love television. They wean their kids on it. Listen, they love game shows, they love wrestling, they love sports, violence. So what do? We give them what they want. We're number one, Ben. That's all that counts. Believe me, I've been in the business 30 years.
Well, I haven't been in show business as long as you have, Killian. But I'm a quick learner. So I'm going to give the audience what I think they want.
You bastard! Drop dead!
I don't do requests.